3, 2, 1. The Voice of Stockton. For more information on The Voice of Stockton, go to thevoiceofstockton.org.
This is KBCC 89.5 FM, Tracy, California, Peace and Justice Network of San Joaquin.
The views and opinions expressed in the following program do not necessarily reflect those of KXVS The Voice of Stockton or its parents, affiliates, management, and staff.
San Joaquin, and welcome to another exciting episode of Tales and Tips. I am so honored to have with me Anita Markiewicz. Welcome. Thank you for returning.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me back.
It's exciting to have you here. I think this is the third time you visited our studio, and we're going to talk about the amazing organization Hope for Horses, and you are the president and founder of that wonderful organization. We're bringing it back to the animals this morning. All right, so let's talk about Hope for Horses. Let's talk about how you founded that organization, where it's located, and what its mission statement is.
Well, Hope for Horses was founded out of a need. There were so many horses that were displaced, abandoned, neglected, and in need of a new chance at life. And we would get phone calls, I would get phone calls to be able to see if I could take them on to help them transition into new lives. And so we grew from there. We worked with another rescue organization, United Pegasus Foundation, and took in hundreds of Premarin mares and babies and stallions and rehomed them. From that point, we became our own 501c3 nonprofit organization. And we've grown from taking in horses and transitioning them into good equine citizens to growing a therapeutic/adaptive program. Yay. Where we can utilize these horses once they're taught how to be good therapeutic ponies and horses. And our programs just keep growing.
And for our viewers and listeners that don't understand, let's talk. You mentioned Premarin horses, so we should talk about who those horses are. But talk about where all these horses coming from and why is there such a need to rehome them?
People just get in bad situations. They are unable to continue the care of their animals. A lot of the horses that we also take in are race horses or ex-race horses now.
We've had one of those in my home. Not the best story, but it's all good.
And we take those horses in and transition them into appropriate homes. They're no longer viable as race horses, which is fine because not every horse can be secretariat. And those horses move on to being great companion animals, great horses for young riders that are interested in other disciplines like jumping, dressage, 3-day eventing, and even some of the Western disciplines.
Awesome. And let's talk about your background with horses and your fascination and what's special to you about the horse compared to other animals.
Well, I love all animals, that's for sure. But
Definitely.
It seems like horses were where, I guess, my focus needed to be on. There was a lot that was going on with horses needing help and needing homes. And even the horses that didn't need help and had good homes, those people the people that owned them, sometimes were at a loss as to how to get along better with them and how to train their horses better. So that was an area that I decided needed my focus.
And train themselves too. I love you have a post on your Facebook page that talks about all of these steps that people have taken to look at how to change this, this, and this, and they're not looking at how to change how they interact with the horse.
That's true, yes. Most of the problems, as we were talking about a couple of weekends ago, is horsemanship is not so much about training the horse as it is teaching people where we need to change so that it makes it easier for the horses to make a change.
And to me, that just parallels with everything in life and how important communication is, and just the way that you say things and the effect that you get because of how you said it.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's a lot to be said with how you say things as far as how it affects your heart.
Awesome. So let's talk about where you're located.
We are in Galt. We are right off of the 99, and we have a pretty big spread. It's a 20-acre organization, 20-acre parcel, and we have a lot of horses there that are in need. We're kind of very easy to get to, and we offer a lot of different variables.
And how about some contact information? Let's give a phone number, Facebook page, website.
The Facebook page is Hope for Horses CA. That's for us in California because Hope for Horses is a pretty common name. Our website is hope4horses.com. And the address is 10576 Arno, ARNO Road. And again, that's in Galt.
And it's at KISS
Yeah.
Horse Center, so we should talk about that and what that stands for, because I love that too. And what else you do at that facility.
Right. And actually, KISS Horse Center is kind of fading away into the past because Hope for Horses is growing so much that we have decided that we're going to put a lot of emphasis on that and less on the KISS Horse Center.
Awesome for the horses in need.
Yes.
One thing to me that's always been amazing at your facility is that you're very innovative and you bring in different instructors to offer training to equestrians.
Yes, we offer many different things all the time. Our schedule is always busy. I just spent 2 weekends with Jonathan Field. That was in Brentwood. It wasn't at my place. But he is an excellent horseman, a master at his craft. And again, out there, always learning, always growing to try to help these horses and help people get along with the horses better.
And then Richard Winters.
And then Richard Winters has been here. He's been busy at Thatcher School, so he hasn't come for the past year, but we're hoping to get him back. We have Cheryl Ross, who is coming out, and she does cowboy dressage. She is a judge, I believe, with them. And so she comes out to our facility once a month to give lessons. We have Carla Bauschmiller, who is a level 3 centered riding instructor. She comes out to our place once a month to give instructions.
Awesome.
We have me, Anita Markiewicz, who is a level 2 centered riding instructor. I'm also certified CHA, which is Certified Horseman Association instructor. And we have our first Saturday programs, and it's an all-day program where we start working on the ground with our horses to understand what our horses are thinking about us and how we can shape and mold that behavior to be something better. And then we take what we have learned on the ground and continue it under saddle.
Awesome. Awesome. And earlier you mentioned some of the therapeutic things that you're doing. Let's talk about the therapeutic riding.
We have 3 PATH certified instructors on the facility.
Awesome.
Yes. And Chris.
So it's expanding.
It is expanding, and it's a good thing because those little ponies need a job. And again, most of the horses that come in and most of the ponies that are utilized in this are through the rescue.
Awesome.
Blake is our wonder pony. When we found him, he was near death. He was dazed to death. He had been starved. And he had a medical condition that took 8 months of us to work with pretty much on a daily basis. And he is now just Mr. Super therapeutic pony and lesson pony. He does everything.
Wonderful. And for the people that don't know what the PATH means, talk about that and talk about how this is changing lives of children and people that are disabled in our community.
Well, PATH is one of the better organizations or bigger organizations that controls how we operate as far as being a therapeutic and equine assisted learning organization. So they have very high standards that we have to meet. They have very high standards on how their horses are trained and how the horses are treated. They have to be limited on their use and again keep their continued education going also. And on that thought, Chris, who is our head PATH instructor, she's in charge of the whole program. She and I were talking about the equine assisted learning, and she utilized one of the horses in a 2-session day on Sunday. And at the end of the 2 sessions, and the horse was not being ridden. This horse was just in the environment of 2 different people at 2 different times. The horse was yawning and breathing and, I don't want to say taxed, but she went through a lot of emotional changes working with these people.
Interesting.
And it was interesting to watch her, and she was phenomenal with these people, and she was very social with these people. She was very engaged with these people.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. And what about the transformation for the people, the students?
Not just the students, it's also the volunteers. We have several, one of the young ones where we've got several that are stars that have transformed so much. But one of our young ones 3 years ago was nonverbal. And she last year stood up and gave a speech.
Wow.
In front of
That's
everybody
amazing.
at our feedback frolic.
Wow.
Yes, it's
Wow.
amazing.
That's phenomenal. That's
Yes.
huge.
Yes.
So it's a win-win for everyone.
It's
That's
a
awesome.
win-win-win.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome. Well, let's talk about the thing that's difficult for any nonprofit. Let's talk about funding. Where does your funding come from? And the feed frolic. Let's talk about that also.
Okay, yes. Funding is always a challenge. Everyone asks, what do you do? And I say, I beg. So that's what I do. And we write for grants and we ask for donations. We are part of the Big Day of Giving, which is actually a Sacramento County organization that is going around trying to raise funds for a lot of different organizations. And we have Giving Tuesday. There are so many other smaller events that are going on. One of the other ones through the ASPCA, which is a national organization, they are helping to sponsor Help a Horse Home. It started off being just a one-day thing, and they have now let it grow to where it is April through, well, I guess the end of April through the end of June to see how many horses we can home. And there is $15,000 in additional grant money, aside from their normal $10,000 of grant money that is out there for those of us that can adopt out more horses this year than we did last year.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And speaking of that, so how many horses do you currently have? What's the capacity? I know at times when there's been different crises, you're up to the rim with horses. But
Right. And that's where we've been, especially this winter. We actually had to take in a couple of starvation cases that were extremely dire. And they're thriving and doing really, really well. But yes, we are above capacity right now. We have 34 in the Hope for Horses program. And I'd like to keep it under 30, but there's been a big need this winter.
And on average, how many horses a year are you able to rehome?
We normally do about 20 a year that we rehome. I'd like it to be more, but we do utilize a lot of the ones that do come in, and they stay with us to stay in our programs, in our lesson program, in our therapeutic program, and our educational programs.
Okay. And going back to the lessons, and I know that's on the other side, what kind of lessons do you offer? What styles of riding?
We always talk about good riding is good riding, and the horses don't care what saddle you have on them. So we offer good classical riding with a horsemanship bent to it, to work on understanding where the horse is coming from and to be able to utilize where the horse is to help them understand what we want out of them. And if they show talent in jumping, if they show talent in movement, that they can be a dressage horse. If they show talent on working cows, we try to get them into working Western disciplines. So that's mostly where we go, is whatever the person is looking for, we try to make sure that they're fit up with the horse that has the same athletic abilities as they want to have, and we take it from there.
All right. And let's go back to the free feed bag frolic. It's a mouthful.
I know.
When is that event happening? What year is it for that event this year? And how much is it to buy tickets?
Okay, it's our annual Feedback Frolic is April 27th, and it is at the Littleton Community Center in Galt. And this is year 6
Okay, I was going to say
of
I thought
this.
it was 6.
And
I think I've been to half of them.
and they're always a fun time. The food is always fantastic. We have one of the best cooks, chefs, and actually last year she had the help of another extremely talented chef. So Misty is our absolutely incredible cook, and she has a wonderful dinner lined up for us. I believe it's ribs and chicken and
Awesome.
yeah, good vegetarian plate to go with it somewhere.
Awesome.
And we have live music. Tim Burns is going to be there
Yay.
with his group again.
Awesome.
And
Are you going to have a cake auction again?
and we're going to have a dessert auction. Always,
Yay.
always. Those are
Awesome.
always so much fun.
That's very fun.
And
That's the best
lots
part.
and lots and lots of different silent auction items and raffle items. And
Cool.
we will be doing another dance session. We do have Randy will be giving us another lesson on a couple of dances.
Oh.
And we're going to dance around, and I'm going to grab all the kids, and we're just going to do what we did last year and have
Have a great
time.
Awesome. And how do you get tickets, and how much are tickets?
Tickets are $40 a piece.
Okay.
And
Which
they
is actually really reasonable for a fundraiser.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we try to keep it because, again, we just want it to be a party and everybody to have a good time. And you can go to our website, again, hopeforhorses.com, and buy your tickets there. And we have offers for tables and a few other things on there. So definitely check it out and look and see what's there.
Awesome. And if anyone's listening that or viewing that would like to help with that event, what do you need? Do you need raffle items? Do you need volunteers?
Yes, and yes, and yes, everything. So go ahead and go to the website and contact us through the website is probably the best way. And we would be more than thrilled to have more volunteers and more raffle items and silent auction items.
Okay, awesome. Excellent. And I know you've had some other events recently. You had the Tom Sawyer event. How did that go?
That was, we got a lot of things cleaned up, that's for
Yay!
sure. Yes, it was a lot of fun. And we would have preferred better weather because we were hoping to do some painting, hence the name Tom Sawyer. But that never happened because the weather was too iffy.
All right. So what are some things that you would like the general public to know about horses that they probably don't know? And what does it take to become a good rider? Do you think anyone can become an equestrian?
Anyone can learn to ride, that's for sure. And I guess one of the biggest things that I always get struck with when people come and start asking about taking lessons is that they're intimidated by the size of the horse. And so to try to get people to understand that the horse has no idea that they're big, none whatsoever. And in fact, they're prey animals, and we as humans can be predators. So we have to make sure that we don't have predatory behavior towards them. And this way we won't push them into being prey animal status and prey animal thoughts. They're very emotional. They're the only species where flight, running away, is their first response. Everybody else, all the other animals in the animal kingdom are usually freeze or hide. Deer, the first thing the babies do is drop down. I'm not moving, I'm staying here. So horses are the only species that flight is their first response. And for us to understand that, so that when we get near the horse and they start acting up and being anxious and moving their feet, it's not that they're knowing that they're bigger than us or they're trying to intimidate us. They just figure if the predator is scared, oh my goodness, they don't have much chance whatsoever.
And a lot of the horses that you rescue, you mentioned, have issues that you need to work with. Besides medical issues, what are some of the problems that you are dealing with?
Well, a lot of them just don't have a good education. When we get horses off of the racetrack, it's not that the only thing they know how to do is to run fast, because they really go slow more than they go fast. And I think when we get them, we have to teach them how to steer, because that's pretty much the only thing they really don't know how to do, because they have to go around a big oval. And so we teach them how to steer, and we teach people how to use their body language to help the horse to understand when to go faster and when to go slower.
Awesome. Awesome. And what do you think the key is, besides communication that we talked about earlier, for any equestrian to be a good equestrian?
To be aware of what's going on, and to not be adversarial. A lot of times we do this with people. Well, it's your fault, not mine. And it's easy to blame everybody else than to take responsibility. So to understand that if things aren't going the way you like them, what do you need to do to make a change in you so that you can make the change in the horse? And it's shaping the behaviors.
Awesome. Awesome. And to me, it's a win-win. My interaction with horses has been so fulfilling and so amazing, and I wish I had more time to spend with my horse, but it's just phenomenal. I recommend it to anyone, and so therapeutic, so wonderful. Let's go back to what you were saying earlier about Hope for Horses and transitioning your facility more to emphasize Hope for Horses. Hope for Horses has done a lot of transition over the years. Where do you see this organization going, and what are some events and activities that you look forward to continuing doing, and others that you'd like to do in the future?
That is a wonderful question. And where we are working towards is getting us to be more inclusive of both the horse and the human. Our mission statement is transitioning them from where they were to a great future, and in parentheses, both horse and human. So awesome. We're working on the teens right now. We've got several other programs put together, but right now we're growing our teen teams of doing quadrille work and teaching our youth of today how to have good, positive leadership skills, to learn how to be a good leader for their horse, and instill in them a work ethic and some compassion and some understanding and empathy.
And all of those things are magnificent, and we talk about it related to horsemanship, but all of those things will carry over to everything else in their life.
It seems to. We have quite a few of our older girls that are no longer teens, that are young adults out there in the world, and they seem to be just wonderful human beings.
Great.
They're just great.
Great. And I can think of a few, and hopefully they'll be at the dinner coming up, and we'll get to visit.
Yes.
All right. And earlier when you and I were talking, we talked about some of the organizations that you partner with, and you mentioned Karma.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
That's the California Retirement Management Account, and that is a very large organization in California that helps transition ex-racehorses into their second careers. And we are a Karma partner, and we take in quite a few of their horses and transition them into good riding horses.
Awesome. So, and let's go back and talk a little bit about the Premarin horses, because you mentioned that, and a lot of our listeners may not be aware of what goes on with those horses. And you have a wonderful article on your Facebook page, as well as talking about substitutes for Premarin, synthetic substitutes. So let's talk about that.
So Premarin stands for pregnant mare urine, and it is a hormone replacement therapy for women going through menopause, and it is a high estrogen component, and that's what helps with a lot of the different symptoms of menopause. They have been using pregnant mare urine, and in order to have pregnant mare urine, the mares have to be pregnant, obviously, and then at the end of 11 months, which is their gestation, there's a baby horse on the ground, and those are considered a waste byproduct. So those animals are then shipped off to whoever will take them. So they end up a lot of times at the feedlots and at the slaughter plants. So there are so many other products out there, synthetic products, and even plant-based products that do just as good a job, and there are less side effects. One of the big,
I was going to mention that.
yeah,
too.
one of the big side effects with the PMU industry and the Premarin is the chance of cancer.
So how can our listeners or viewers take steps to help the situation with the Premarin horses?
Well, it's pretty dire, and one of the biggest challenges is the industry used to be in like North Dakota and have a lot of farms in Canada, but they have backed off on a lot of the farms there, and they've moved them to Japan where they can utilize the whole animal, unfortunately. So the best thing to do is to be aware of what you're taking and talk to your doctor and convince your doctor that going anything but through the pregnant mare urine episode would be a better option.
All right, excellent. And you made reference to Japan and using the whole animal.
Mm-hmm.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yes, Japan is one of the countries that does eat horse meat. So when the horses, the mares, and that's the female horses are mares, when they are done being on the line, and they're usually only on the line for 3 to 5 years, of which a horse has a good 20 plus years of life from start to finish. So if they're only going to be on the line for 3 to 5 years, from that point on, then they're sent to slaughter. And again, the babies, when they're weaned, and they will wean them early because they have to get the mares pregnant again, so they'll keep the babies with the mothers until they're pregnant again, and then they'll take the babies away. And again, Japan uses horse meat for human consumption.
And what other countries? I think there's three or five.
There's most of Europe has horse meat that's available for human consumption. So it's pretty prevalent in a lot of the other countries. Canada, the United States, and South America are not big horse meat eaters. So, but most of Europe, you can go to many different butcher shops and many different restaurants and have horse meat on the menu.
And last time you were here, I think we talked about how some people or organizations will pose as rescue groups to be able to funnel horses to other areas to be used for meat.
Yeah.
Is that still going on?
Not so much, like I said, mostly because it is getting harder and harder to just take them from here. They're trying to really promote better care for the meat that people are consuming in Europe, especially because a lot of the horses that end up at these low-end auctions that go to slaughter, these horses have been on a lot of different medications. So
you can't use that for
and
food.
You can't, right. But you won't know this.
Mm-hmm.
So they have been working on legislation for Europe that the horses have to be clean and watched over for at least 6 months.
Good. I'm glad to hear that that's improving.
Yeah.
Excellent. Mm-hmm. All right. Anything that, I was going to ask you one more thing. You had talked about on your Facebook page, you have an article about the EHV1.
Mm-hmm.
Did you want to elaborate on that for our listeners and viewers that aren't aware of what that disease is?
That disease is mostly an upper respiratory disease, and it is a virus, so it makes it extremely difficult to treat and cure. So it's one of those diseases that when it hits a barn, everybody goes into quarantine because it spreads so readily. The challenge with that disease is that it can go into a neurological position, and so therefore it will affect the spinal cord and therefore cause us to have to euthanize them. And there is no cure for it. So we're always trying to be very diligent in keeping track of the vaccines and making sure that our horses are healthy.
And I was going to mention about the vaccine. So how often is that given, and how effective is that vaccine?
That's the scary part, because that vaccine only is really active in a horse's system for probably 3 to 4 months. And it is usually given twice a year for horses that do a lot of showing and do a lot of competing or are out away from their home a lot. They're usually vaccinated every 4 months. And the vaccine is one of those that is not extremely potent. It does not work as well as a lot of the other vaccines.
Oh, it's unfortunate. And
Yeah.
so besides giving vaccine routinely, watching for symptoms and working with your vet if you
Yes.
see any symptoms.
Mm-hmm. That's it. And then when you know that it's been places, you try to make sure that you don't let any of those horses come near your horses, and you try to stay home during those times.
And that's hard to do, because things that are airborne spread on clothing, other things can act as fomites.
Yeah, it is. It's a very scary thing.
All right. So anything else that you'd like to talk about that we haven't covered?
Well, let's see. We have, we have been working and growing our quadrille. Every year, we are part of the California State Fair.
Yay.
And last year, our team did 2 different showcases there for the program that we have there every year. And one was for the racehorses, as jockeys and the horses wearing numbers. And they did a drill team performance to one of the today's songs that they have. I'm not even sure which one it was. And we were just trying to promote the fact that racehorses and the racing industry itself is not necessarily evil or bad. It's one of those that's just like everything else. Everything has a good and a bad. And these horses are well taken care of in most places and with most trainers. And they're loved by their owners and by their trainers. And so we want to let people know that it's okay to watch a horse race. And it's okay that they can be there. Most racetracks, in fact, all racetracks, are really working hard at making sure that they're safe for these animals. And it's always unfortunate when things go wrong, but in every sport, in baseball and
There's always
in
issues in
football,
every sport,
especially
yes.
now, they're talking about all the head trauma. So it happens in every sport. And the best thing that you can do is try to be aware of it and be conditioned to stay safe.
Well, and it's appropriate that you mention that, because Santa Anita has been in the news lately with having issues, and I'm glad that they're taking steps to try to rectify things. So that's good, because that's the response that we would want.
Right, right.
We'd like it to be a rapid response, but that's the response that we'd want.
Yes.
Going back to the quadrille, and you mentioned racehorses. At one point, there was also a draft horse group as well. Is that still?
Well, we're working on that, but I think we're down to only 3 draft horses, so it's kind of hard to do a quadrille with 3.
Yes.
But we do incorporate a lot of them into our drill team. We're not just a thoroughbred only. We do have several different quadrille songs and themes that we're putting together. And obviously we will have some that are just strictly for the X-race horses, but we do have them open to all the different breeds.
Okay.
We have a Mustang in one of them.
Oh.
We've got a Mustang in the draft cross, a Premarin baby in one of them. And we're just growing those teams left and right, trying to have fun, looking to do exhibitions at local shows.
Cool. And if someone is interested in participating in that, are there set training times, and how do they reach you?
We are trying to do set training times on Saturdays. The best thing to do is to, again, try to go to the website at hopeforhorses.com and join us on our first Saturdays. And that'll help you get an idea of what it is that we do and become a part of it. So this way you can learn how to be with the horses. If you have your own horse, that's fantastic. You're more than welcome to bring them in to our first Saturdays. So we definitely welcome outside people and outside horses. And if you don't have a horse, that's fine too. We have plenty on our plate that we can match you up, and you can join us using one of our horses.
Awesome. And if you're interested in participating in the quadrille, what skill set should you have already in place?
Be comfortable walk, trot, canter on a horse, and hopefully can play follow the leader and maybe be able to keep some time with the music.
Okay.
So, but that's about it.
Awesome. And have a lot of fun.
Yes, lots and lots of fun. Come with a good attitude and wanting to have a good time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Excellent. Let's just highlight again all of your fundraiser information for your wonderful event that's coming up.
Okay, the Feedback Frolic,
Yes.
and that's April 27th, and it'll be located at the Littleton Community Center in Galt, and that's right off of 99, very easy to get to. It'll be open bar at 5:30, and dinner will start at 6:30. Again, absolutely phenomenal chef Misty will be cooking our food for us, and we will have live music with Tim Burns and his group. We have lots of silent auction items and lots of raffles. There will be a dance class there. Randy will be leading us with that. Everybody is welcome, all ages. We have a variety of different things that are going on all the time as we're wandering around looking and dancing and having fun.
You had neat photo things the last time I went. Neat places to take pictures, which is cool. And the dessert auction is still my favorite.
Yeah, there you go.
My weakness. And tickets are $40, and you can get tickets how?
You can get them online at hopeforhorses.com. That's hope, the number 4, horses.com.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Any final comments?
Let's see, there was something that, we are also having, again, in our busy schedule, we're actually having Robin Brookman come from North Carolina, and we're going to be holding a centered riding clinic in the middle of April.
Awesome.
And so it'll be very exciting to have her here. She was on, or is still on, the Paralympic team.
Wow.
And she is also a Western dressage judge and a regular classical dressage judge.
Awesome. And how do you sign up for that? How much is that?
And the open clinic is $500 for 2 days, and that will be April 15th and 16th. And again, you can go to hopeforhorses.com to the website and contact me through there. My email address is there. It's anita@hopeforhorses.com. And we can get you some more information and see if you want to join us.
And if you want to just watch and observe a clinic, is that a possibility?
We do have auditing available. It's $25 a day.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Excellent. So many things going on, and it's exciting. Every time I see you, you're doing new and better things. It's awesome. And I love that you're so happy and you're enjoying it, which is amazing. And you're helping so many people and so many animals. I admire you so much. It's wonderful.
And I have to say the same about you. Every time I talk with you, you're always doing something new and exciting and wonderful. So there, we're 2 peas in a pod.
Yes, here's to making a difference.
That's it.
All right, and thank you so much for being here today. And let's just give contact information one more time for Hope for Horses.
Okay, Hope for Horses is hope, the number 4, horses.com. And we're located at 10576 Arno Road in Galt. And my email address is Anita, ANITA, @hope, the number 4, horses.com.
And quickly, one thing I didn't ask you is we talked about your fundraiser, but we didn't talk about needs that you have at the facility. What if people out there want to donate hay or tack or blankets, buckets, what have you?
Oh, yeah, which reminds me, we have a tack store, and we are actually going to have a trunk sale out at our facility. Again, check our website. You'll get the dates and all the rest of the times for that. We're always in need of hay. Horses are very hungry eaters. They eat anywhere from 20 to 30 pounds of hay a day, and that's 7 days a week. And we also have supplements that we have to give them, and grains and higher calorie things, especially for some of our starvation cases that we're working on bringing along. And our seniors always are in need of special foods. So hay and money towards hay, towards feed. We are always having vet bills with the horses that we have to help keep them in tip-top shape and to get them into tip-top shape from when they get to us. So vet bills are always mounting up. And
do you have a donation button on your website?
Yes, we do. We have a donation button on the website. So please, that would be wonderful for have people to check that out and to help us out. It's always helpful.
And what types of hay? Grass hay, alfalfa?
Yes, mostly grass hay, alfalfa hays, but the forage hays and the oat hays, we use those too. Okay. So yeah, there are lots of different hays out there, and most of them are very usable for horses. And if you're not sure, you can ask the person that's growing the hay or that is selling the hay and ask them what hay is good for horses.
All right. And then I believe on your Facebook page it says you're looking to hire someone to do feeding.
Yes.
And what about, and we can talk about the qualifications for that. And also, what about volunteers?
Oh, we would love more volunteers to help out with all this. Again, we have a lot of horses there, so the pens always need cleaning. They're always, again, we need to feed them twice a day.
And brush them.
And
groom
brush them.
Walk
and groom
them.
Yep. And one of the things that we're also trying to figure out is getting me help in my office and having some office help and secretarial help as far as with filing and helping me with that end of it also.
Okay. And did you want to talk about the position that's open as well?
Yeah, we are looking for somebody that has horse skills and is familiar and able to work with the horses. What I'd like to do is find an intern that would help me work with the horses also. So, but that would again be somebody who has some horse skills and wants to continue to grow in their journey with horsemanship.
Awesome. And they can reach you through the website.
And they can reach me through the website.
All right. Awesome.
Super.
Awesome. So I look forward to amazing things and the frolic coming up, the feedback frolic.
Mm-hmm.
And it's wonderful to have you here today. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me. This is always so much fun to be here.
All right. And with that, I'm going to sign off. I am the voice of San Joaquin. You are the voice of San Joaquin. We are the voice of San Joaquin. Let's make it a great day.